Hey, good afternoon, everyone. We're glad to have you back in with us. And I am excited to be back here on SmackDown CatFishing Live. We have got some awesome guests in with us this afternoon. I'm telling you, I know in the world that I live in, some of these guys, these three guys that you see on these screen, is three of the best catfishermen you're going to find no matter where you go. If you're out in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, or if you're in Alabama, Georgia, or Mississippi, I'm telling you, these guys right here is some of the best you're going to be able to find. You also probably noticed we got a special host in with us this afternoon, Aaron Churchwell. Matter of fact, Joey is not going to be able to be with us for a couple of weeks. He's took I'd say a extra job. He umpires a little bit, I think a church lead on Tuesday nights with softball. So he'll be out a couple of weeks with us. But Joey, we're going to miss you. But Joey, Aaron, we're glad to have you in with us this afternoon, man.
Thank you for having me,
say about yourself.
Man, I'm proud to be here, man. We got a full house tonight.
Hey, and he don't need no introduction. Everybody knows who he is. And guys, one more thing I'm going to need from you, because we're just getting back. I'm hoping that the quality that we have is going to be a whole lot better than we've had in the past. I got high-speed internet now, thanks to a couple of our big supporters. Man, I got a new laptop sitting in front of me. And hey, and I don't know if y'all know these guys that's sitting in front of you tonight, but I'm fixing to introduce them to you. Matter of fact, I got to know one of them probably, I don't know if it's been a year ago or not, Tommy, but Tommy Vaughn. If you don't know who he is, hey, you ain't living in the catfishing world or the spoonbill world. This guy right here is one of the greatest spoonbill guys out there on Grand Lake. Ain't that right, Tommy? We want to welcome you to the program, man.
Man, thank you guys. And yeah, we just wrapped up spoonbill season so I could sneak away. And now I'm down here in Alabama ready for the Sea Arc Invitational. And there's one thing that you picked up on, brother. When you're catching big fish, you got to turn the hat backwards.
Hey, I had the opportunity my first time that I met you, and the first time I think that I actually met in person with Charles. Me and you and him fished for 2 days together. And man, we had a blast.
Boy, we did. And that was actually my first trip to Alabama. And man, I'm back again, man. I love it. It's a little different fishery than what we got. We got giant spoonbill. Down here's giant catfish, and it's just a beautiful fishery.
Yes, sir. And I know this other guy here that went with us tonight. You can also find him. You're going to be able to find him on Facebook, Al St. Cyr. Al, I'm going to just tell a little story. I met a guy probably 3 or 4 years ago, probably when I first come on Facebook, a man by the name of Michael Smith. And he's out there around Tawakoni. I met me and him just sort of got acquainted through Facebook. He had sent me a message a while back and asked me had I ever heard of you and did I know who you was. I said, man, this right here is a great fisherman. And I think that he told me, he said, if you haven't heard him, you're going to hear about him. And I had the opportunity to meet you a couple of weeks ago, and it's been a pleasure. I want you to tell them a little bit about yourself, Al.
Hey, y'all, I'm Al St. Cyr. I live in Arlington, part of DFW, just right in the middle of it all, right in the square 8 million people or so. And it's awesome. I live real close to Tawakoni and Texoma and a few little local lakes that I ain't going to say the names of because I catch a lot of 50s and 60s out of them all the time, and I don't want everybody else going out there. I don't even post pictures from out there. But I love fishing Tawakoni and Texoma a lot.
Yes, sir. I want y'all to do one thing for me, the viewers that's coming in. And guys, I can't express to y'all enough because the ones here in the chat, y'all are a vital part of this program. If you would do it for us tonight, because we're just now getting back started, tag a couple of your friends. Make sure you tag them if you would, share this right here. And let's get this chat up to about 200 people in here to live with us. We're fixing to start talking about what you tuned in about, and that is catfishing. And this is what we love to do. This is our passion. And one of the things that's going to be interesting about tonight, and I talk more and more about this, and it's something that I have not been really used to until I sort of got acquainted with Michael Smith. And Michael started talking about catching fish in 2 and 3 foot of water and all this. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, I don't know all about that, man. I don't fish no water that. If it ain't 20 foot deep, I ain't fooling with it. And you know, in the last couple of years, I tell this before, and I'm gonna tell it again. In the last 3 or 4 years, I have boated some monsters, and they've all come out of 15 foot or less water. And Al is Al and Tommy. From what I talked to Tommy today, he was telling me a little bit about you and what y'all have been talking about. Both of y'all love to fish shallow water. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I love. If I'm deeper than 6 feet, I feel like I'm deep. I will fish deep in the, if it's real prolonged cold spells and whatnot, but I'd rather be up in 1 foot water, pretty much.
Now I'm going to ask a couple questions, and without trying to get into too much, because I would say for me, shallow water catfishing, and it's still, when I get to that, I'd still be uncomfortable in 5 foot of water. I have got my feet wet in that 10 foot, area, and I feel comfortable there. But I've never fished in 5 foot or 3 foot of water. I mean, I just don't do it. And being around the catfishing world here and being exposed to a lot of great fishermen like y'all, man, I'm hearing this all the time of catching fish in shallow water. Can y'all expound a little bit, you and Tommy, on what is it that you look for? Is there certain little things or techniques that would help the guys who is maybe never done this, is looking to try to expand out in this?
I look for flats with creek channels, and I look for different stuff off the creek channels, like another creek, like 2 creek channels coming together is a great starting point. Old submerged bridges on those little flats are great spots. Any little high spots on the flats are pretty good. I don't really look for fish. I just look for little different things on the flats myself.
Yeah.
And Stacy, when I was talking with Al, this is the first week we've actually truly talked.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool because we both grew up on the river.
Yeah.
I mean, I started when I was a teenager or younger than that with my dog and a 12-foot flat bottom. Yeah. Fishing the river, watching the current, catching big fish. Well, I said my biggest flathead was with my grandpa at 86 pounds. Well, Al's telling me the same stories. Yeah. That's how he started, way before we had big boats and electronics. It was just reading the current and the riverbank and a little eddy back in there. You got a little creek coming in, and I guess that's why we're just so drawn to this shallow water fishing.
Yeah, I caught my biggest flatheads 82, and it's just a tiny little river here, nothing like the rivers y'all got out there. It's maybe 20 yards wide, and the little creek comes in on a bend. It's got a little about 10-foot hole in it. And man, there used to be a lot of big flatheads in that river back in the day before the blue cats really kind of took over down here.
Now, one of the things that I noticed, Al, with you have a long history of being a bank fisherman, and I would say, Tommy, do you have that too?
Yeah, I grew up on the river fishing. I mean, I've probably the last 10 years I've changed to the boat, but 20 plus years was just on the riverbank.
Yes, sir.
How do you guys go about finding areas to fish from the bank?
Same way, navionics, whatever. When you're a kid, you just look for a windblown bank or a point or whatever and just go out there and throw big baits and wait. I've always just kind of focused on big fish before I started the tournament fishing, and I'd just go out and I'd throw monster baits and just wait all day, and I didn't care if I caught one or not. As long as it was over 50 pounds, I was pretty happy.
Yeah.
And as long as they didn't have a padlock on the gate, you could get in there.
Yeah.
I used to bank fish before I got into the boat fishing. When I got out of the military, I didn't have a boat, and I started bank fishing, and I got to going and knocking on landowners' doors and getting permission from them and looking at navionics and all that stuff. And that was more in a river system that has current all throughout the year. But on a lake, I don't know nothing about bank fishing on a lake.
All you got to do is find a windblown point, set up, and wait.
Let me ask y'all this. This is one of the questions here from Troy Smith. What techniques do y'all use when you're shallow water fishing? Maybe your rig and setup there. What do y'all use there?
I just use the normal stuff. Pretty much Carolina rigs and Santee Cooper rigs, and I mainly fan cast. I don't really drift on the flats or drag on the flats too much. I'll do that in deeper water, but I kind of like to push them and like to see them before I stop. That's I don't use the electronics a whole lot, but I make sure there's fish there, but just not on the electronics.
Yes, sir.
Michael just said that, Al, you guys won that tournament last weekend on Tawakoni.
Yeah.
Was the bite still shallow there this time of the year still?
I was catching fish and from 1 to 3 foot, and I caught. Connor, my fishing partner Connor and I, we caught probably 70 fish.
Holy smokes!
They were mostly 2 to 5 pounders, but
Right.
it was still a lot of fun just catching fish nonstop. We didn't want to move because we were just catching so many fish. It got all right, you know.
Yeah. Well, let me ask, when you go into these shallow waters, when you're talking shallow, what is the definition of that? What you mean by shallow?
My definition is anything I can set the power poles in. So if I'm not 6 foot or less, that's not shallow. I mean,
I got you.
I want to drop them poles, and we was talking about fan casting. Get all these SmackDown rod holders on here. We're customer fishing. We'll have 14 rods out. We'll fan cast them everywhere, up from a foot to maybe 6, 7, 10 foot off the back of the boat.
We call that South Carolina fishing. Them boys got rods.
I do a similar kind of thing. Just get up on there and typically stay around the channel and just fan cast around it. The channel might be 2 feet deep where I'm fishing. I caught a 62 a couple weeks ago in about 9 inches of water.
That's
And you can see it's fan or nothing. It just, when it took the bait, you could see everything. It was the biggest explosion you could ever imagine. But
Well,
up in there.
It blows your mind for us guys out here in the East that, we tend to not fish that shallow on a normal basis.
Yeah.
It just blows your mind to go out there in Texas and see how those fish pattern compared to out here.
They'll do it out there too, though.
Oh, they do. There are times of the year that I fish really shallow on weed.
Yeah.
But for a majority of the late winter time down there, y'all's fish stay in that water. Our fish move from it. They'll go into it and come back out of it.
I really think that our fish, when they're going up there and when it's really cold, are going up there to digest, and they just run into another bait and they're just like, I might as well eat it. I'm up here already. I don't think they're there for any reason, except for to get some sun.
Yeah.
Warm up a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know,
There's one thing I like to target. Say if you're in 5 foot of water and there's a ledge that comes out, whether it's a rock ledge or a mud ledge, and say it's 2 foot deep. Well, that's enough for that wind to catch that bait, cast right up against that ledge. Even though it's only 2 or 3 foot difference, those fish are going to use that as a highway and stack up against it. So even though you're in 5 foot of water, there's little tricks in there that you want to look for.
Hey, Al, did you see the comment that put up here?
Yeah, that's why I cracked up laughing. You should see the hole of my boat. It's kind of scratched up and dinged up a little bit.
Well, down there in Texoma, you got a bunch of stumps you got to bounce over.
Texoma ain't that bad. Texoma wide open compared to Tawakoni.
Well, one of the things I got to think about, I got a deep V boat, and I love my deep V boat. But I've been hanging around y'all guys a little bit talking about the shallow water. I'm like, I ain't gonna be able to get up in there where they at.
You know what's crazy? I just sold my boat so I can get a little shallower drafting boat. I was fishing out of the same boat you got, Stacy, the Tracker Target. I just sold it yesterday, and I'm gonna get me a little bit shallower, maybe Sea Arc or something like that, and I can get into 6 inches of water now.
Let's do this right here. Let's take a break just for a minute, and I'm going to we're going to draw a winner. We're going to give away a pack of Partner in Slime drifting weights.
The old Bobby weights.
And while we're doing this right here, Bobby, show them what you got there, man. And they're interchangeable. You can change the weights in them. So
Yeah.
You'll be able to see what's going on there. He'll show you a little bit about them.
I don't have any of them out right now. I wasn't prepared, Bobby.
Well, let's do this right here. While I'm fixing to choose to get a winner, there was a question here asked by Marty Bardo. What's y'all's favorite bait? And he says, please don't say cherry Kool-Aid chicken. So tell them a little bit about y'all's bait and what y'all prefer on that.
Well, Marty, my favorite bait, because I fish a lot of northeast Oklahoma, is fresh gizzard shad. And I want them where the nose isn't bleeding, and when I cut them, they're bleeding. I have to use ice sometimes, later on in the summer. But if I can keep that bait fresh, I can catch that morning, that's our 90% go-to bait.
I'm the same exact way, gizzard shad. I love fresh gizzard shad down here. I will go out of my way and I'll throw the net all night long. If I have to get a cooler full of jumbos, I'll be out there throwing till the tournament starts or till it's time to fish. I need big old fresh gizzard shad.
I know a guy that fishes tournaments, and he'll take time out of the middle of the tournament to go get fresh.
Well, that's dedication right there.
Joey Pounder.
We've all seen it. I mean, if you put them on ice, yeah, they bleed, but take some bait that we've had frozen or on ice to fresh shad and look at the bleeding difference. Well, we all know blood scent and how much better it is. So some days it's tough to get it, but I believe it makes definitely a difference in that shallow water.
Also, noticed whenever you put shad on ice, their slime coat disappears.
There's one thing that I am so adamant about, that I do like shad, but I am not fishing with shad that is a day old, and I'm the same way. If it's possible that halfway through the day I can go get some more, I'm gonna get me some, because fresh shad is the key to me. I mean, that's big. That's big to me. We have the winner right here, the partner in slime drifting weights, Bill Hall. Bill, if you would, you can contact me or Aaron on Messenger. Preferably, you can contact Aaron. He'll be the one shipping them out. Give you his information there. If you don't have him on Facebook Messenger, you can contact me, and we'll make sure I get you in contact with him. And Bill, we want to thank you again, man, for being a part of our program. And we're going to give away tonight 4 SmackDown rod holders. In one giveaway, we're going to give away another one's got 2 SmackDown rod holders in it and another pack of drifting weight. So y'all stay tuned in with us, and let us know what your questions are and your comments. And again, guys, if you're just tuning in, tag a few people, share some, hit that share button, and let's get that chat on up here pretty high. Aaron, what else you got here you want to ask these guys?
I have a question that just rolled through that I think is a really good question. What temperature do you guys start and stop fishing shallow water?
I pretty much always up there. We get real bad thermocline in the summer.
Yeah.
So the deepest we could really fish is 25 feet, really. So I mean, I'm pretty much always in the shallows for the most part around here, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same way I am. I mean, even in December, when we had the Cat Masters up on Grand, I went deep, and that was a mistake, because right after we were done, I caught a 50 and a 30 on the same anchor in a spot I'd never fished before till that day, and I was in 7 foot of water, and those fish come out of 5 foot, and it was close to 35 to 40 degree water temp.
Wow.
See, leading up to that Grand Lake tournament, we did a lot of shallow water fishing and never really put any. I don't think we even caught a fish out of shallow water. I take that back. We caught a channel cat. Most of our fish on Grand, we just couldn't find any shallow. But then we heard people weigh in. They caught them out of 5 foot of water, and I was like, "What were they doing that I was doing different?"
One thing I've noticed about the shallow water is they'll be in different creek arms on different days. Just because you got them there, they still move around a lot, but they're still in the shallows. But they move a lot, just like they do in the deeper water and whatnot. They just like to move.
I noticed
like
in Grand Lake
like Al's saying on that, I fish spots that I know should have fish, and I go fish it, and then I may move down 200 yards and put 20 fish in the boat.
Yeah.
a spot I've never even fished, but I'm like, all right, I'm going to move down just a little bit. Same, everything's the same except those fish wanted to bite at that time.
Yeah. What kind of bottom do you guys look for when you guys are fishing shallow water?
Depends on the time of the year.
You guys tend to fish known structure when you're in shallow water?
You want some structure around.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily relating to it, though.
Yeah.
Like in the winter when I'm fishing deep, I'm fishing right on structure.
Yeah.
But in the shallows, I'm like just fan cast. I'll be near a piece of structure and just fan casting around it, not targeting the structure itself, though.
Because you can even pull up there, even when the water is 40, 50 degrees, and you see a brush pile, you'll see fish in it.
Yeah.
But they're going to be scattered everywhere. But you can still see a good laydown with a couple of fish laying against it.
This is interesting because this is something really new to me. I'm telling you, and I am just intrigued about this, and I want to learn all I can about this.
It's a lot of fun. You don't get a lot of the huge, like crazy digging takedowns that you do in the deep water, but that you see that line starting to take off, and when they do hook up, a lot of times they'll jump out of the water like a dolphin. It's so much fun seeing that. I just love that part of it more than anything, I think.
Well, now, Al, one of the things that Michael had told me, Michael Smith told me, when fishing that shallow water, you can actually see that fish blow up on that bait before your rod ever even moves.
Sometimes you can. You'll see a little bow wave coming up to your bait, and then you'll get a lot of times it's just a pop first, and then your line just start moving off to the side.
I'd be wanting to set the hook, seeing him coming.
I'm guilty to that. I still do that way more than I should. I've been doing it quite a while, and I still like, oh, he's got it. But it's just a very exciting way of fishing. It's so much fun.
It's cool.
I can see that. Sure could. What else you got over there, Aaron?
Mike's got a question. He said, do you ever use floats in shallow water, or do you always fish on the bottom? If so, do you use a float close to your hook to suspend the bait, to suspend in the shallows?
I do all kinds of stuff myself.
Yeah, and I even rigged some up.
We lost him there just a minute.
The complete rigging, but you get 4 inches of leader off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keeping the leader short. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so that way that float's floating about a foot off the bottom just to keep that bait off for the bottom, because, you want to eat on the floor or you want to eat off the table? Well, if you get that up on the table, just that 6 inches, that's making it a lot easier for them to get in that if you're fishing a lot of mud and stuff.
Hey, here's a question, Aaron, and they may know something about this. Bobby Grider here wants to know, what's y'all's opinion on the rattles? Y'all ever fool with them?
I've messed with them a little bit, but not. Sometimes they do make a difference. We got some of them things from Bobby, the Livingston things, and we caught some fish that just absolutely slanked the holes down.
Cody Haynes, he fished that tournament with me up on Gunnersville this weekend. He showed the back tied on.
The big one.
And I was like, Cody, I tried using that one at Gunnersville for the championship, and as soon as I put in the water, the bite shut off. We were catching them on the smaller ones.
Yeah.
As soon as this big one makes a lot louder noise and everything.
Yeah.
5 out of the 6 fish we caught came off that big giant one.
Really?
On a tough bite, really tough bite.
Tommy, what'd you go get us?
Heads, right?
Talking about rattles.
He doubled up.
I got them doubled up. Got me a line stop right there with a spacer just to rattle. That's one of my shallow water rigs. So when you talked about it, I figured I'd break it out.
Hey, let me ask y'all this. I don't know. I do this a lot of times because people always ask me, do you use rattles? Do you use floats? Do you use this bait? Do you use that bait? I like skipjack and I like shad. But if you go on fishing with me, if I've got the opportunity, if I can get my hands on some shad and skipjack, I'm going to fish with shad and skipjack. I may put a rattle on one. I may put a float on one. I may not put nothing on one. And after about the second fish that I catch, that I call on the same rig, I'm like, hey, guys, I think I'm going to change everything over to this, especially about after the third fish, you know.
Yeah.
But it seems I use stuff like that to set patterns, and I'm not stuck on that the next time I go out. I'm going back to the same thing. I'm fixing to change everything up because sometimes I think that fish is, I don't know what causes it. Maybe it's just something that triggers him, that he needs something to trigger a bite, and sometimes he may not want to hear no rattle and stuff. I don't know what it is, but I'll throw a little bit of everything at him.
I see somebody over here said every rattle I've ever used came apart. If you'll notice, Jason Moses, if you'll see how my mind just went blank. If you see how he had his rigged up, he had him spaced out away from the hook. Those things aren't glued together. They're just snapped together and the BBs are in them. Space them out from your hook a little ways, because when a fish bites down on it, a lot of times he'll pop them things right off. So either put them on the top side of your bobber or use bobber stops like he's got right there. Tommy, my bad.
And you know what's funny? You're talking about it. I remember fishing with Mom and Dad on the riverbank, and you picked up a cigarette butt and you had an egg sinker and you tied the cigarette butt as the sinker stop and you tied a hook on, and that caught more fish than anything. So
or anything.
yeah.
Adam Isaac asked this question, and it goes back to, I think, what we just talking. Man, Adam, I throw a little bit of everything. Now, if you fish with me, you're going to notice I'm going to be the first one to try to grab the head of that skipjack, because that is my favorite bait of all. I mean, I'm going after that. But I'm going to put some in chunks. I'm even going to have one or two where permitted, if I got enough rods. I'm going to have some with a big head. I'm going to do some small chunks. I may even do a fillet. I'm just going to cut it a lot of different ways, because I don't know if y'all experience this. Some days they just want a particular thing.
Yep.
And if you will never know it if you don't have a variety of it out there.
You got to have a variety every time.
Yeah.
And then target what they're going after.
Yep.
And you know, there's
a little tiny piece of bait.
I've caught two of my biggest fish, 89 and a big 70, were on tiny little baits.
Yeah.
And I've caught lots of 60s on giant bait. You know, it just depends on the fish and the day and everything.
I agree with you. Aaron, tell us a little bit about them Livingston Lures, man.
It's it's a company that put a lot of research into the sound that fish make when they're getting fed on. So they have some different sounds out that mimic those different baits. So I think this one's actually like a croaker from the ocean, but can y'all hear that? But it goes through a series in it. They've got different ones. They've got smaller ones. We got these ones just for mainly just demonstration purposes, but you know, I'm gonna put it on, and I tried it, but I didn't have no luck on it. But Cody did the other day. They have one that's called a Pro Stizzle. That's a lot smaller version, but they put a lot of time and money into figuring out them sounds that fish make. I didn't know that. I didn't know that when a fish opens and closes its gills, it makes a noise underwater. So,
you know, one of the things that we missed on the bait, and I want to make mention of this, and I was trying to find him over here in chat. David Adams made mention about the live bluegill. And hey,
live bluegill or cut up bluegill.
Do what?
There's nothing wrong with live or cut up bluegill.
Hey, and I'm telling you, live bluegill. When I go flathead fishing, I want some live bluegill. And you know, I'm gonna say this, and maybe y'all experience this. I have caught some monster blues off a live bluegill, and some people, you know, won't even. But I'm telling you, man, live bluegill is a good bait.
Do you guys do a lot of drifting down there in shallow water?
I don't like to drift in the shallows too much. I mainly fan cast in the shallows. I will drift, but I prefer to be 10 feet or little deeper. You know? Well, 10 feet's deep to me, but yeah.
And see, what's funny is I'm the same way. So if you two see us pulling boards or drifting this week, you know we're in trouble.
Hey, well, let me ask y'all this right here. And I think the reason why, do you think by being that shallow water, you really don't want no trolling motor running or nothing like that? You want to just be as quiet as you can?
My boat was a 2-stroke, and that sucker was loud, and you would just scare them sucker. They'd go everywhere. You anchor up or put your poles down, you know, and you just sit and wait about 30 minutes. You start to see a little bit of movement, and there's a lot of patience involved for me. But once they get back on there, it could be fire. I know the quieter boats. My fishing partner just got a Pro Cat, and it's got a 4-stroke that's just quiet, and you got to almost hit the fish to scare them. It's completely different.
Hey, I'm going to let y'all answer this question right here by Taylor. He wanted y'all to explain what y'all mean by fan cast. And as y'all doing this, we're going to pull another winner. This right here is from the North Mississippi Catfish Club, Brad Andrews. We're going to give away 2 SmackDown rod holders. So answer that question about what you mean by fan cast.
Well, what I say fan casting is mainly in Oklahoma, we're allowed 7 rods a person. So what I'm doing is we've got 6 SmackDown rod holders up front on the multi-bars. I've got 12 in the back. And we fan cast, we're going to fill every one of those rod holders with a rod. So we're going to try to hit that foot of water. We're going to try to hit 2 foot of water. We're going to some close to the boat. We're going to throw some out as far as you can launch a 4 or 5 ounce weight. So we're just covering that whole area like you're just putting an umbrella over it full of baits.
Yeah. Hey, I can identify with this because me and Joy was up in what I would call shallow water. It had to be 10 foot or so. This has been about a year ago in a tournament. So we got up there and we were just dragging some baits right down the channel. And there was a guy up ahead of us. I told Joy, I said, Joy, I don't think we're going to get by him. He had the power poles down, and I'm telling you, there were surf rods, there was lines everywhere. I said, that fish don't stand a chance.
He's in the middle of that. Hey, if he's in the middle of that circle, he ain't getting out of there.
Hey, if he was within a 360-foot radius, they had him covered. I'm telling you.
I'll tell you a little secret. Sometimes I use 10 and 12-foot rods off the boat to get them even further out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Charles gave me one of the 8-foot, the big games.
Yeah.
And I like how far that thing casts compared to
laying it out there.
Yeah.
Get you a 10-foot extreme and woo,
yeah,
town.
I could see those coming in good suspending baits too, getting them out further away from
the boat. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Hey, the winner of the 2 SmackDown rod holders that are given away by the North Mississippi Catfish Club. Hey, Mike Mitchell, if you would contact me. I noticed you always tuned in with us, man. I think this is Mike Mitchell from up around Illinois or somewhere like that. Man, thank you for tuning in with us. You're one of the top fans here at SmackDown CatFishing. You can contact me and I can get you information and get in touch with Brad Andrews, man. Thank you. Thank you so much for being a part of our program. Aaron, what else you see on there, man?
Oh, I haven't seen anything else.
Well, let's do this right here. I'm going to move off of this. So I'm going to give Tommy here an opportunity because Tommy just ain't a catfisher.
He's not.
I mean, I'm telling you, this dude right here, he calls them sand bass. And next thing you know, they pulling big old spoon bills over the boat. Looks like they're 100 pounds. And I'm going to go ahead and say this. Guys, if you're looking for a paddlefish guided trip, this right here is the man to contact. We got him on here right now. His name is Tommy Vaughn. You can look him up. Tell him what to know. Tell him a little bit about your guide service.
Well, I live in Grove, Oklahoma on Grand Lake, so it's northeast Oklahoma, and we have one of the largest populations of paddlefish, and we'll fish for them from the fall through the winter in our heated enclosure Sea Arc boat all the way through the spring. And these fish are going to average 40 to 45 pounds, 60s, 70s. The new world record was set at 150 pounds. But what's different with these is they don't bite anything, so you have to snag them. You have to have the electronics. You're trolling around, snagging fish. So I call it redneck deep sea fishing. And I've had a lot of people that actually been offshore and everything, and they come and try it, and they're like, wow, this is awesome. And
all the electronics. I grew up doing it on the bank.
Do I?
You just throw all day and jerk.
Oh, I grew up in Chitopa on the bank and Emma, and oh yeah.
Did we lose him?
Electronics. So we also do fishing. So after we leave Alabama this week, I'm headed back up to the Bass Pro US Open bow fishing tournament to bow fish the weekend after this one. So we do it all. We have fun, and this right here is my vacation this week.
Get him a little relaxation time.
And guys, the name of his guide service is No Wake Guide Service. You can find him on Facebook. Hit him up if you look to see what he's catching on there, because they're catching some monster paddlefish. Look like you can carry your whole family out there with him. Book you a trip with this guy right here, and I promise you, I don't think you'll be disappointed.
That's actually how I met Tommy. I grew up in Joplin, Missouri, which is just to the east of Grove. And my family actually went on a guided trip with him back probably 3-4 years ago. And they were like, man, this Tommy guy, man, he does it all and everything. And then I ran into him at the Catfish Conference earlier this year. Actually, I met him at Texoma last year. But
it was a good thing about being the class clown. Now it's paying off while I'm fishing. So, hey, we like to have fun.
Al, if you got anything else you want to add in here, man?
No, I'd like to thank all my two sponsors, you and Charles Crook and Meat Hunter Rods. I'm feeling pretty lucky to have y'all. Ain't been tournament fishing that long and been doing pretty good, but it still feels pretty cool to have some people looking out for you when you're just getting into it. And my wife, I couldn't do it without her. She's the most supportive partner anybody could ask for. And she puts up with a lot of stuff for me that most people wouldn't. And I'm really lucky to have her, and I love her more than anything.
Hey, Al, how long you been tournament fishing?
I've been tournament fishing my whole life, but not necessarily for catfish. I just bought a boat. I started fishing at the Catmaster Classic a couple of years ago. My wife saw an ad for it, and she's like, "Why don't you go fishing?" And I was like, "Well, you got to have a boat." And she's like, "Well, go buy you a boat." So I went and bought a boat. And I literally had 2 days. I found me a boat, and I bought it, and trying to still figure it out and everything, and ripped the bunk boards off the very first time we took it out. And so it's all kind of Brian St. Elmo's fault and all them Catmaster guys that I'm doing this now. They don't know that, but it is. And went out the next tournament, won it, and then I've won 7 tournaments now and got second and third a couple times. I've been doing pretty good. I love fishing.
Let's make it 8 this weekend, brother.
Hey, Aaron, are you fishing this weekend?
I'm not fishing. I might come up to see weigh-in though. I'm actually going up tomorrow, dropping off some drift weights and stuff to some guys, go see some guys and everything like that. But no, I'm not going to be able to fish it this year. So
I'm going to ask one more question here. We're fixing to give away another pack of these Partner in Slime drift weights. And when we do this right here, this is a little, y'all answer this here. What y'all's guessing on this right here?
I don't know, man. Fishing's been a little bit tough. I think it's going to be probably like 154.
Hey, 154 now ain't tough fishing.
I'm guessing 121. I'm
Really?
going on the light end. 121.
I probably don't catch them one fish that size.
Al, I will tell you this: Wheeler will humble you.
Oh, I know. It's
It will.
every lake.
Wheeler's one of them things. Wheeler and Wilson, man, is one of them things. Just when you think that I've got this thing patterned out, and I have been there, man, and just smoked them time after time after time, and not in one trip. I mean, make a trip this weekend and smoke them, and come back a month later, man, and find them, and you're like, man, I got this thing down. Then go spend 3 days and catch 3 fish.
I do a lot of that too. You know, it is fishing. It ain't always catching monsters nonstop or fish nonstop. There's a lot of some skunks involved too. You know, it's part of the game, and you just gotta learn what you can when you get the skunks. Why did you not catch any fish? You know, it's kind of, there's a lot of things you got to think of when you're fishing besides catching fish.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We was up there fishing not too long ago, and we had one of them days. Me and Joel was fishing. I think, man, we drug baits for like 12 hours. We might have caught 2 fish. And I looked at Joey and I said, Joey, if you don't love fishing, you're going to hate this right here. You're probably not going to come back.
I love them days just as much as the days when you're catching a bunch.
Hey, yeah. And, you know, Al, that's what I tell people. You know, we have some bad day and they come home and I said, the difference between me and you, I said, I just love being out here.
Yes, sir.
I said, don't get me wrong, I love fishing. I said, but if I was just here simply for the fish, I'd probably quit, you know, but I love being out there. I love the anticipation of thinking my next one may be the one I'm looking for.
It might be anytime. That's what keeps us all going. It's just like
does.
Anytime you see that rod twitch or go down or whatever, it's like we always call the big one's Bertha. Here comes Bertha. She's gonna make an appearance today. Or does, but you still go chasing her, you know.
That's what Joey always said. Joey said, "There's old Elvis. We're looking for him."
We went up to Nickajack early last week, and I was dead set on teaching Robin how to bump because she's fishing MRM with me. And we bumped and bumped and bumped. And I caught fish, and she didn't, and she kept losing bottom. You know, getting hung up and everything. Finally, I just went and anchored down, and I said, "You're going to sit here and do it until you learn it. You're going to start here and walk it back as far as you can and bring it back, and we're just going to do it over and over until you get it." She finally got it to where she was comfortable with it, and we went right back up there to the dam. I put the trolling motor down, and we made one little pass through there. I think she caught one, and I caught one, and then we made it down probably about 200 yards further, and that 65 hit it. And we got it in the boat, and she was screaming bloody murder. "Oh, yeah, I've done it. That's awesome. And then I looked at her, and I said, "That's why we bump."
Hey, Aaron, I thought about her because you remember when I was on the phone with y'all, you was telling me we fixing to go down here and we fixing to do some bumping.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, you make sure you hold a hold to that rod because he's going to snatch it out of your hand. And when I seen that fish, I'm like, it's a wonder he didn't snatch it out of her hand.
It blistered her thumb. So.
Hey, the winner of the partner in slime dragon weights, Gilbert Hayes. Gilbert, if you got Aaron on Facebook Messenger, contact him. He'll get you information, and he'll make sure he gets these to you. If you don't, you can contact me, and I'll get this information to him. We're going to give away here the very last thing. We're going to give away a 4-inch SmackDown rod holders of your choice of color, and we're going to try to finish this program up. So if you got any further questions, I want y'all to feel free. And I hope that we've had better service. It seems like we've had a whole lot better service than what we've been having. So if we have, y'all at least give me a thumbs up and let me know that we've done better anyhow. So I put a lot of work in trying to get high-speed internet, new laptop. I want to thank Robert Thomas for helping me out, man, and getting me set up. I want to thank Chad Bryant. Also, we want to thank Troy Smith at Rocco's Grocery, Dale Tackle, Partners in Slime. We want to thank Charles Crook with Meat Hunter Rods. Thank y'all so much for being a part of this right here.
Well, you're doing.
I was looking to see if I seen Charles in chat tonight, but I haven't seen him. in here.
He's
What's
right
up,
there.
Stacy?
I kept looking for you in chat to see if you was gonna be in here.
He's got old Junior with him too.
He done froze up on us, but give him just a second. I'm telling you, he gonna unfreeze in just a minute.
There you go. Oh, what's going on, Stacy?
Hey, Charles, man, I've been looking for you in chat. I didn't see you. I just got to look in here. I said, if I see him, I'm fixing to send him an invite, but I didn't see you. But wait, look, you pop up.
Well, here I am.
Guys, if y'all did not know Charles Crook is the owner of Meat Hunter Rods. And he's probably going to kick me out of the club because I didn't have my Meat Hunter hat on. And I am the oddball of the bunch. I didn't get the memo, Charles. But, Charles, thank you for being jumping here with us, man.
Guess who's wearing a Meat Hunter right beside me?
Is that Junior?
What's up?
Hey, man, how you
That's
doing?
Doc.
Have they been letting you catch the fish?
We got old Doc in here.
What?
Been on the boat all day.
That is.
That is Doc, ain't it? They froze up a little bit. Guys, if y'all don't know Doc is in the house, man, he is a legendary
Catfishing legend.
I'm talking about he's a legend in his own time now.
Yes. Well, they got the whole crew with them down there.
I figured they was off eating steak somewhere tonight, Aaron.
That's what I would have thought too. Hey, Al, I got a question for you. It was earlier on in the chat. I seen it. So, what's the most important thing to you on your boat that makes you successful? Whether it just be fun fishing or tournament fishing.
Confidence.
Confidence. That's a good one, man.
I really believe in yourself, and I think that's the most important thing in anything in life is just thinking you can do it and just go out there and do it.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what technique or anything that you're doing.
Exactly.
Got to have confidence in it.
Yeah. I would say confidence. I'm going to be with Al. Confidence is the key. It'll make you stay in a place. It make you believe in yourself. And when you believe in yourself and you believe in what you're doing, you're going to stay in a place longer. You ain't going to be running here and yonder and just running around like a chicken with his head cut off. You're going to be focused on what you believe in.
Mm-hmm.
We got him back. Doc, can you hear us?
Yep, I can hear you.
Well, y'all was breaking up on us, and we were just glad to have legends in the house with us tonight.
No legend here. Just somebody that loves to fish.
Did you find any more today?
What's that?
Did you guys find any more that we're going to eat today?
No. We searched around. I went to a few of my places that I've always caught fish, and it just didn't happen today.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured that cold front moving in was going to affect them a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
You going to be out there bright and early in the morning?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, be back in my office again.
Bundled up.
Guys, if y'all don't keep up with Doc, y'all need to. Doc is a great guy. Not only a great, I'm going to say it this way, not only is he a great fisherman, he's even a better guy when you get to meet him, catching some monster catfish, and really a veteran of the sport. So y'all want y'all to keep up with this guy right here. He does a great job at what he does. And Doc, we want to just thank you, man, for being who you are and doing what you've done here in the catfishing industry.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Sea Arc tournament this weekend because they are honoring Lynn this weekend. So that's pretty exciting for me.
That's awesome.
Yes, sir.
That's
Really cool.
And I want to tell you this, Doc. My heart goes out to you, man. And I'm going to say this, man. I love you, brother.
Same here.
Yes, sir. Aaron, what else you got? You got anything else? We'll get ready to. Where did Charles go to before we leave out of here?
Put him on the spot.
I'm ready.
Charles.
I was trying to put old back on there.
Y'all breaking, going in and out a little bit on us. But I want to give you a chance right here if you want to say something, man. Go ahead.
No, y'all just, it's good to see everybody, and y'all look forward to getting together with everybody at the Sea Arc tournament for sure.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. Now, I'm looking forward to hurry up and getting up. I'm going to be there with Big Bama Brian, and we're going to be trying to go catch some big catfish.
Well, Doc and I, we fished about 2 foot deep this afternoon just to see if Al's tricks were going to work before he got here.
Samantha already put you on blast in there. She said that y'all was fishing shallow yesterday and caught them.
She got on this, did she?
Uh-huh.
Well, I can't wait to get out there and
I'll put you back to Tommy. It's good to see you guys.
Yeah. Well, guys, hey, Tommy, we're fixing to get ready to jump off of here. I do have one other giveaway that I want to do, and this right here is for 4 of the 4-inch SmackDown rod holders. These right here have been donated by Troy Smith at Rocco's Grocery, and the winner of this right here is Jim Fitzgerald. Jim, you can contact me on Messenger, send me a message, get the information to me, and I'll get with you on there, and we'll get what colors you want. We'll get them sent out to you. Guys, I'm going to leave y'all with this. If there's anything else you want to put in here, anything else you got to say, Tommy?
Man, guys, you know, I fished a lot of tournaments. I'm really getting into the catfish tournaments. Everybody's got a shot, whether you're on the bank as a weekend fisherman or not, 0 to hero or hero to 0. Everybody's got the same opportunity, and slow down, relax, and fish more, and get those kids out there fishing, because that's our next generation.
Yes, sir.
It only takes 5 bites.
That's all it is, 5 bites.
That's all it is, 5 bites.
Al, what have you got to say before we get out of here, man?
I just thank you for having me. I already thanked Charles and you earlier and my wife, and that's the most supportive people I got in my corner right now, and I really appreciate it. And thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see y'all at the Sea Arc.
Hey, we look forward to having. What about you, Aaron? You got anything else you want to add to this?
Hey, thanks for coming on, Tommy and Al. I mean, it's good having you guys. I look forward to the next few weeks co-hosting with Stacy. I love the show. Love being on here. So,
yeah. I want to run over this before I get off of here. I want to thank Dale Dunaway. I want to thank Troy Smith at Rocco's Grocery. Hey, I want to thank Charles Crook with Meat Hunter Rods, Chad Bryant with Merchant Foods, Big Cat Fever and their slime line, Partners in Slime. We thank you so much, man, for all y'all doing. Brad Andrews with North Mississippi Catfish Trail. And don't forget that his guide service is No Wait Guide Service. You can contact him if you're looking for a trip. Hey, we're looking to see y'all this coming weekend at Decatur at Ingalls Harbor. When we are there, going to be fishing the Sea Arc Invitational. I pray that God's blessings be upon y'all. Y'all tune in with us next week. We're going to try to have some special guests in if everything works out. I want to go ahead and share this, Aaron. I'm trying to hem up Mick Petrie and Smokey Brown.
Uh-oh. I don't know if I can be in that one, Bobby.
Hey, guys, God bless you. May the blessings and favor of the Lord be upon y'all. May his grace continually be upon you. And y'all have a great week. And we'll see y'all next Tuesday night at the same time. And maybe one of us can tell you we won the Sea Arc Invitational. We'll see y'all.